Eat food, that's what.
Hey YouTube, what's going on? Tim the Human here, aka Livewire, and I've done this video. I absolutely owe it to you guys. Have I quit parkour? I get asked a lot on Tumblr, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Absolutely not. I've not quit parkour. I still train a bit parkour. I've definitely shifted perspective. I feel like the parkour I do is sort of more natural, but it's hard because you have to define parkour, and parkour itself is hard to define. What would be a better question to answer really is, have I left the community, the parkour community? In the most part, yes. I've absolutely shifted direction and moved away from the parkour community, and I don't mean any disrespect by that. You know, I'm one human. I've got one life. I've got to focus on my passions and what I'm enjoying, and I've really got to. You know, I've always been pretty good at using my emotions as a guidance system for what I should be doing. So, you know, my heart has certainly moved away from parkour in the traditional sense of training on walls and filming videos, and you know, I did the big project with Flow and established myself as quite a figurehead within the community from the years before that, putting out a lot of frequent YouTube content, free running videos, and I got a lot of love from the community. And I, you know, truly humble for all that, for the support I get. I never take it for granted. I'm always amazed when people say that they like my videos and I helped them and they started training through me. And it, you know, it was a massive part of my life, changed my world, and it was a big part of 10 years. When I was, the first thing I ever did as a kid, you know, I was a fast runner, and then I got football and soccer. Then I got into breakdancing, and I, you know, used to look up to breakdancers like Lilu and Brahim, and be like, I want to be like them. And I train. I'd, you know, wake up in the middle of the night, turn on the light switch, and try moves out when I'm laying in bed, thinking of tricks I wanted to try. And then I sort of moved on to parkour. From there, I used to watch, you know, I watched Jump London with Sebastian and Johan and Stefan Vigru, and then saw videos of David Bell, and then got into, you know, saw Urban Free Flow, was inspired by people like Blue, and just wanted to be like them. And every minute, you know, occupied so much of my mind, a lot of my mind, all of my mind. That was, you know, growing up, and now I have to, you know. And when I got into parkour, I sort of held on to the breakdancing for a bit, and then realized I had to let it go, because it wasn't, you know, I was trying to just juggle, and parkour is what I really wanted to be doing, and then I'd just occasionally maintain the breakdancing, but it wasn't where my heart was. And I did the same when I got into breakdancing. I'd still play football for years, but my heart wasn't there. I'd be trying to do breakdancing tricks on the football pitch, and you got to learn from it. You got to listen. I use your emotions as your guidance system. As I say, you know, parkour's not what's on my mind, not what's occupying my mind all the time right now. What's occupying my mind, as it's probably obvious, is, you know, I say veganism, but it's not veganism that's occupying my mind. It's just the injustice of the world. It's just seeing the way we treat animals, some animals and not others, and the unnecessariness of it all. It's not a necessity to kill animals to eat, and not to turn this video into one about veganism, but, you know, that's, as clearly you're probably well aware, that's on my mind, and I've got to respect that. That's, you know, where I'm driven to go right now, and I can't try and just juggle everything and like I've done in the past. When you're a super young kid, you used to wake up every morning and go, oh, I want to play. I used to go climb a tree house, build a tree house. Then I got into video games, and every day I wake up wanted to play video games, but my head wasn't like, oh, but I should probably go and maintain the tree house that I built. It was like, no, I want to play video games. Where, like, kids really know how to do this. They do this so well in just following their emotional guidance system and just waking up doing what they want to do, and they don't have this attachment, this baggage of this other thing that they've done in the past, so they should probably keep it up. And this is a lesson for everyone as well. Like, if you're at a point in your life where you've done something for years, but it doesn't give you that same fire in your belly, you don't wake up wanting to do it like you used to, then it could be time to move on. So in terms of parkour, as in training on walls, waking up, training with my friends, I don't have that part of me right now. It might come back, but for now it's not there. What do I wake up? I think about, I like running trails, running mountains, which for me is absolutely another form of parkour. I feel like when you do parkour in cities, it's sort of your human innate rebellion of, or not rebellion, but conquering the environment around you. And so it's like you can be suppressed by a city and in all these concrete walls, but when you stood on a wall and you can balance across a bridge and you feel like big chested, like, yeah, I'm in control of my surroundings. They don't control me. They don't consume me. I'm in control of them. Now I've got into trail running and mountain running. I get the same feeling, but a more in nature. You know, it's a better relationship with nature that humans have. It's more deeply ingrained in us, in our evolution, where cities are a bit newer to us. So I get a similar feeling, but it's a more fulfilling hum within me when I'm running up a mountain, because it looks so big and colossal, and then an hour later you're on top of it and you've conquered it, and then running down is even more fun. And that's where the parkour background of training in cities and technical footwork comes into play, because I can run down mountains and technical trails faster and with more awareness than I see most, even like professional mountain runners. I'm not saying I'm better or as good as them, but I have an awareness that I certainly see some of the best, like Killian and them. I see his foot placement, and I can, from my parkour perspective, I can, he has a certain confidence that shares with a lot of free runners, and it's that overcoming your environment feeling that both sports share. And there's certainly a big overlap, and you look to method natural and move nat and things like that, and I look at that now and think, wow, that's cool. Like, that is parkour in nature's environment, and maybe there's some future in that for me. But to use that even as a metaphor within parkour, I did a lot. I accomplished a lot, and I loved it all. But it's time for me to climb a new mountain. I've got one life. I've done parkour and focused on that for 10 years. And that's cool, I've got that. I've somewhat, you can never master it. I'm not never saying I would be close to, but somewhat got a good understanding of body awareness and control, and that I'll hold with me for the rest of my life now. And I want to move on and, like I said, climb another mountain, find some other gems, what fuels my heart. Now, when I was a kid, really, the first thing I was good at was running fast. So simple running, isn't it? You just put your shoes on and you go. You don't really need to warm up. Running itself is a warm up. And I'm not talking running in cities. That is boring. Still do it sometimes, but it is boring. But running in nature, trails and mountains, is something in that, man. There's something in that I really connect with, that I really excites me. I want to plan my holidays around it. The same way when you're free runner, and I was before, you plan your holidays around which cities can I go to and train in. I want to go, which mountains can I go to and run up? Which landscapes, I want to go back to Hong Kong and run in the mountains there. Someone put on Facebook, it's hard to make money in parkour when one of the biggest free runners is now become a professional vegan. It's quite funny. But I'm not vegan for the money. I was very comfortable. I could continue to make a good living in parkour. Made a very comfortable living and could continue to do so. I didn't move to parkour for the money. I didn't move to veganism for the money. That's absolutely not it. But when you're a kid, I keep saying this, I think kids know best. And you say you looked up to astronauts, and then you got the opportunity to be one. Heck yeah, you'd take it. I used to look up to free runners. I got the opportunity to be a professional free runner. Heck yeah, I took it. Now who do I look up to? Who do I aspire to be? Who do I look up to as my heroes? People like Gary Yourofsky, man. People don't want to listen to him. People hate on him because of how outspoken he is. I admire that because he just speaks the truth. I look up to people like him. I got the opportunity to be aspire to be something like him. Be a spokesperson for this. Fight against injustice. Injustice upsets me. It always has upsetted me since I was a kid. I've always been outspoken against it, and now I see why. And now I've found the biggest injustice, the biggest hypocrisy, insanity of humanity going is how we continue to treat animals, and it's not for much longer. And I'm going to do my part, every bit my part, now that I'm focused, that I've let go of trying to juggle being an athlete. I'm still an athlete. I still continue to be an athlete. I love having control of my physical body and understanding that, and the pressure and release, endurance, and then the calm that comes after it, after the enduring. But it's hard for me to do that with the most open heart when I know that this is this problem going on with how we're treating animals. And so I focus on that. So I give my time to that, to looking out for them, the voiceless. And that's what I'm going to continue to do. So I appreciate every one of you. There's a lot of people, a lot of viewers of mine that have followed me from the start. A lot of you didn't do parkour or anything, you just followed my channel. And you followed me through on this journey. And a lot of you have become vegan as well because you've listened to what I've had to say and it's made sense with you. And I've been relatable enough to you that you've come with me on this journey and you've just unconditionally witnessed my growth and change and this channel change with me. And that's awesome. I love you all. You've followed me through on this. Some of you may be a bit more upset that this was a parkour channel, that it used to be a source of somewhat inspiration for you to go out and train. And I'm sorry that it's not that anymore, but you don't need me. There's plenty of other teams and athletes to watch, you know, Farang and Stora, and so many other individuals. Luis was with him the other day. Still got many friends in parkour and in the community. You don't need me, man. I've got other fish to fry right now. To use a non-vegan phrase. But I'm sorry, it's changed. I don't really mean that apology. I'm not going to apologise for who I am and what I'm doing, but you know what I mean. You can accept it now that I've spoken on the subject. But everyone in the community watching this, I love you all. I hope to see you all again at some point in the future, and our paths will cross. The parkour community, I hear, and it's hard for me to see from my perspective because it would be biased, but I hear that there's a lot of vegans and vegetarians in the community now, and that really warms my heart. That is, you know, that's a history for me, that I've come from that, and to see that other people have found veganism themselves and vegetarianism within the community, because parkour is somewhat of a spiritual practice to some of the athletes. It is, and as I said in the past, you know, you've got to respect your environment to do parkour, and for me that's all encompassing of the environment is animals, and obviously as well. So I hope that's cleared it up for you. Still going to do parkour in my own way, just not going to be my focus. I'm on to other things for now. I love you all. Stay tuned to the channel. If you're only here for the parkour, you can stay tuned. There'll be bits. Either way.